Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the February 26, 2018 Salisbury City Council Legislative Session. I would ask all of you to please silence any electronic devices that you might have with you. If you need to take a phone call, we ask that you do it outside of the chambers. If for some reason an emergency should arise during the meeting, we ask that you exit the room in an orderly manner. When you get out of the chamber, make a right-hand turn and proceed down the stairs. If for some reason that is blocked, make a left-hand turn and a right-hand turn and go down the stairs. If you need assistance, please ask and it will be provided to you. Please do not use the elevator in case of an emergency. Thank you. Before I invite Pastor Robert Reinert of the Faith Baptist Church to come up for the invocation, I would like to personally thank him for hosting the Coffee with the Council.
Yes.
It was an enjoyable evening, good response, so thank you very much again, Pastor. And Pastor, now if you would please come up and lead us in the invocation, I'd appreciate it.
Let's pray. Father, we are indeed thankful to you for our life, our health. We're thankful for this great nation that you saw fit to not only bring into existence, but to sustain through these many, many, many years, through difficulties, through trials, through struggles, through great victories. We thank you for that. Lord, our hearts continue to be burdened for those who have, in the most recent days and weeks, lost loved ones in tragedies and in terror. We just pray, dear God, you'll be with those families and embrace them, comfort them. May your grace be sufficient for them. And Lord, I pray tonight that you would continue to guide this council. We thank you for each one of them, Lord. They are a diverse group of servants, and we thank you for their service. And we ask that you would continue to bless them and give them wisdom from on high to guide them in the decisions that they make, that they would be good for the city of Salisbury and for the people of the city. And we'll thank you for it in your precious name. Amen.
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 Thank you, Pastor Reinert. Appreciate it. Please stand now and join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Well, we have a special presentation tonight. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. President, members of the council, thank you so much for having us this evening, and hope you're having a lovely evening. Tonight we are joined by friends of ours from the United Way, and I'd like to ask Kathleen Momme and her team to come forward if you wouldn't mind. So the United Way, as everyone I think knows, is a United Way of the Lower Eastern Shore, a 70-year-old organization, 70-year plus organization, 74-year-old organization in our community that has touched so many lives, done so much for so many organizations. They've helped families and children, and they've put so many books into our schools and into the hands of children. It's pretty incredible, and they do this in a more efficient way than most nonprofits. They have I think it's a 19% overhead compared to a 34% national nonprofit overhead, and they support so many of the things that are important to us. And important to our entire community. And so we have mayor, council, and members of the city government, employees, raised funds, donated funds, our funds to the United Way for I don't know how many years we've been doing this, but we've been doing it for a long time, right? Jim,
think it's 74.
resident historic, a very long time. And so we're grateful to you and we're proud to be supporters. Before we take a picture, do you have anything you want to add?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. And I want to thank all of you on behalf of United Way for all of your employees that you represent here today, who have given so generously out of their paychecks to not just help with roads and not just help with their jobs at the fire department or the police department, but they have said, I'm going to help outside the walls of this city building or where they work to help someone they may not ever meet. Maybe somebody who's going to have a big brother or big sister, somebody who's going to have hospice care and they have no insurance, or someone who's going to get meals through Meals on Wheels program. And those are just 3 of 81. And as the mayor said, I think it's 130,000 books we've now delivered in our region to children, because pre-K education is critical to our future. So we are focused on health, education, and financial stability, and we are grateful for you that you've wrapped your arms around our United Way and allowed your employees to voluntarily say, yes, I want to make a difference. Those dollars added up. So we're very blessed. I'm joined by Stacy McMichael, who was, I think, at almost all of the city presentations this year, and Laura Rodriguez, who's with PNC Bank, but is representing our United Way Board of Directors. And a huge shout out to Donna Haig. Yes, let's hear it for Donna Haig. She was the main coordinator to pull all this together, and just did it with energy, passion, compassion, and always a smile, and not like she has anything else going on. I know. So hats off to Donna Haig and to all of you for your support and for representing the compassion that this city has so much for their neighbors in need beyond your city services. So, and April, I have to say, I was just so impressed. You may have the most beautiful voice I've ever heard in my life when I heard you singing last week at the National Folk Festival. With that, thank you so much, Mayor.
Of course, let's do a picture, but can I just say this for a second? I don't know, we may have talked about this, I don't know if you remember this. So this
But here it
incredible
comes.
lady, she was, you taught me CPR.
Oh my gosh.
Years ago, yeah, I don't think.
When
you
I was at the
remember.
Red Cross.
Yeah, when you were at the Red Cross. I'm not even gonna say how old I was, but
Yeah,
it was
okay.
a long time ago.
In my mind, I'm still
She is a
35.
force, and she's got the fire chief recording this. So that's an impressive feat. So you are a force to be reckoned with.
Thank you.
So with that said, can we do a picture with the council?
Yes, we would
Okay.
love to.
I have no idea, Stan.
Oh yeah.
How much do we raise?
How much did the employees donate?
$8,828. What should we go?
Can we get everybody to come out front? Is that?
Yeah, we can.
You want me to take it? She said you would take it. That's the gym game.
We should all people on there.
Sorry,
April.
I always have to put the check down because it gets.
All right, here we go, on 3, 1, 2, and 3. Uh-oh.
It's just a little delay.
Okay, looks good to me.
It clicks a couple times, but you need to check. Oh,
Again, 1, 2, 3. Take it.
So to get a quality picture, you might want to email me.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. After you, sir.
Thank you, Kathleen. And I just want to say, next year, when the ball comes around, you've got to go. That's all I'll say, because it's a great experience and thoroughly enjoyable, thoroughly enjoyable. Thank you again. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the legislative agenda as presented.
So moved.
Okay. I think it was Mr. Rudisil first and then Mr. Ireton, so we'll do that. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Chair votes aye. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Jackson, Mr. Boda. Good evening, Mrs. Nichols.
Good evening. On the consent agenda this evening, we have the February 5th, 2018 work session minutes, February 12th, 2018 regular meeting minutes, and resolution number 2815 approving the appointment of Terry Gladys to the Sustainability Advisory Committee for term ending February 2021. And that's it for the consent agenda.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I understand Terry is here. Terry, would you please stand up to be recognized and thanked by the council and the citizens?
Can I just say, Terry started off as an intern in the mayor's office, since gone on to do great things. She's left us, but she's still serving the city.
Fantastic. Thank you, Terry.
Absolutely.
I'll now entertain a motion for the award of bids.
So moved.
Ms. Jackson, Mr. Ireton. Good evening.
Good evening. On September 11, 2017, the City of Salisbury awarded contract RFP 11-17 to Delmarva Veteran Builders to design, permit, and construct a Riverwalk Amphitheater. Having now completed the pre-construction phase and achieving the 90% design plans, a guaranteed maximum price of $379,738 has been negotiated for construction of the project. Additional details regarding the GMP can be found in your attached packet. Funding is available in the two accounts I noted in your packet. The Department of Procurement hereby requests Council's approval to award change order number 1 to Delmarva Veteran Builders in the amount of $379,738 for construction of the amphitheater.
Any questions or comments? I'll just say that at the groundbreaking we had, which was really nice, the rendering, and if anybody wants to see it, it is on the, I know it's on the website. It's going to be quite the amphitheater, so if you haven't seen it, please take time to look at it. If there are no other questions, I'll call the motion. All those in favor of the award of bids, please signify by saying aye.
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 And the chair votes aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Miller.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2474 for the second reading.
So second.
Mr. Boda, Ms. Jackson. Good evening, Mr. Tillman.
Good evening. It's an ordinance of the City of Salisbury, Maryland, to establish a fee schedule for renting city facilities, amenities, and public spaces, whereas the city desires to make available city facilities, amenities, and public spaces for recreation use for individuals and families at no cost, and whereas the city desires to rent city facilities, amenities, and public spaces for community events and activities, both public and private, and whereas the city desires to establish a fee schedule for renting city facilities, amenities, and public spaces for exclusive use, and whereas the revenue collected as rental fees will offset some operational costs incurred during the rental period, including but not limited to materials, equipment, utilities, and labor required for site preparation, cleanup, and supervision that goes beyond routine tasks. Now therefore be it enacted and ordained by the City of Salisbury, Maryland, that the fee amounts in the attached Exhibit 1 FY 2018 fee schedule, facilities rental fee, be established. And Exhibit 1 is attached there too.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the motion. All those in favor of ordinance number 2474, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2475 for the second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Jackson, Mr. Boda.
Okay.
Mr. Tillman.
This is an ordinance of the council, the City of Salisbury, amending and supplementing ordinance number 2223, passed by the council on October 22nd, 2012, approved by the mayor of the city on October 23rd, 2012, and effective on October 23rd, 2012, in order to authorize and empower the City of Salisbury to use and apply a portion of the principal amount of the $6,041,000 City of Salisbury taxable public improvements bond of 2012 issued on December 5th, 2012 to projects identified herein as sewer infiltration and inflow remediation, replace distribution piping and valves, restore Park Well Field, tank and reservoir mixing system paleo water treatment plant roof improvements, pump station building improvements, park water treatment electrical gear improvements, Glen Avenue lift station, and sewer extension in Mount Herman Road, in addition to the projects originally identified in Ordinance 2223, and identify the sources from which debt service on the 2012 bond, taxable bond allocable to such additional projects will be payable in the first instance, providing that this title is a fair statement of the substance of this ordinance, providing that the provisions of this ordinance shall be liberally construed and otherwise generally related to the use of proceeds of the 2012 taxable bond. And the schedule showing the reallocation of the money is found at page 5.
Okay, any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the motion. All those in favor to approve ordinance number 2475, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2476 for the first reading.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Boda, Ms. Jackson. Mr. Tillman?
This is an ordinance of the City of Salisbury approving an amendment of the FY 2018 general fund budget to appropriate additional position allocations for the fire department personnel, whereas the fire department has need to add an additional 1 firefighter emergency medical technician, and whereas the fire department has need to add 1 fire inspector, 1 civilian to its current allocation, and whereas there are sufficient funds available in the FY 2018 fire department budget to fund additional positions, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salisbury, Maryland, that the city's fire department position allocations be amended by adding paragraph 1, 1 firefighter emergency medical technician, and 2, adding 1 fire inspector, 1 civilian. This ordinance was introduced and read at a meeting of the council the City of Salisbury held this evening, and thereafter a statement of the substance of the ordinance having been published as required by law was finally adopted at some future date. That's it.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the motion. All those in favor of ordinance number 2476, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And
Aye.
the chair votes aye. Thank you, Mr. Tillman. I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 2816.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Jackson, Mr. Ireton.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Salisbury entitled, "A Resolution Amending and Supplementing Resolution Number 2236, adopted by the Council on November 26, 2012, approved by the Mayor on November 28, 2012, and effective on November 28, 2012, Resolution Number 2236, in order to authorize and empower City of Salisbury to use and apply a portion of the principal amount of the $6,041,000 City of Salisbury Taxable Public Improvements Bond of 2012, issued on December 5th, 2012, the 2012 taxable bond, to projects identified herein as sewer infiltration and inflow remediation, replace distribution piping and valves, restore Park Wellfield tank and reservoir mixing system, paleo water treatment plant roof improvements, pump station building improvements, park water treatment electrical gear replacement, Glen Avenue lift station, and sewer extension in Mount Herman Road, in addition to the projects originally identified in Resolution Number 2236, and 2, identify the sources from which debt service on the 2012 taxable bond allocable to such additional projects will be payable in the first instance, authorizing and empowering city officials and employees to take certain actions with respect to the 2012 taxable bond, providing that the provisions of this resolution shall be liberally construed and otherwise generally relating to the use of proceeds from the 2012 taxable bond.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the motion. All those in favor of resolution number 2816, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye. Thank you very much, Ms. Polcher. That concludes the agenda items. I do have one request for comment. Rob Garcia, if you come to the podium, please, and state your name and address. You have 3 or 4 minutes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob.
Rob, we can tell you're a firefighter the way you put this together. This is reminiscent of Chief Hoppus all the way through. If you'll let him know tomorrow that we noted him.
I'll see him tonight, though, I think, possibly. So, I had some prepared comments, but I just want to say that I think it was my second tour in Iraq. I was sitting there in the sand. I was like, as soon as I get back, I'm going to find a town. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to do something, either be a firefighter or police officer, and I'm going to start working with the city. And I'll tell you what, so far Salisbury has come through for me. So, thank you.
Good.
Well, first, my name is Rob Garcia. I live on London Avenue. I'm also a firefighter with the city of Salisbury, but I'm not here to talk about the fire department. I'm here to talk about a research project I did for my master's degree called Salisbury 2.0, Salisbury with Comico 2.0. What happened was that Amazon went ahead and said they were looking for a second headquarters, promising to hire 50,000 people and $5 billion worth of investment. And everybody went ahead and fell over themselves trying to get this account. The thing was, Amazon wasn't trying to go ahead and build a giant fulfillment center. They needed the technicians and programmers to go ahead and work on their crown jewel, Amazon Web Services. AWS is the major player in cloud service computing and accounts for over 75% of Amazon's profits. Not the boxes, but honestly, cloud computing. That's what pays Amazon's bills. So along with that and local news, Northrop Grumman buying Orbital ATK and taking over the Antares project down in the Wallops Island, I went ahead and I decided, what would it take for Salisbury to go in and attract a tech company down here? And what I found was pretty enlightening. We have a great power grid. We have a power grid that we can power several data centers, supercomputer clusters, IT facilities all at once without causing any type of brownouts, without causing any type of inconveniences for the citizens. Thanks to the Maryland Broadband Cooperative, we've got top-of-the-line broadband connectivity down here. 100 gigabit per second is the best you're going to get. They've got 400 and 100, 1 terabit connectivity going on right now. That's all theoretical. It doesn't exist yet. We've got the best. We've got plenty of commercial space, unfortunately, but we do. And actually, we're very cheap. We're 30% cheaper as far as cost of living goes than Northern Virginia, and we're 5 times cheaper than we are in San Jose, California. So all these pieces are all in place as far as the large outlays, your buildings, your power grid, your fiber lines. The problem we had was with people. We just don't have them. We've never been an IT area. Basically, the government, followed by education, followed by healthcare services, followed by manufacturing. Those are the major employers in this area. However, we can go ahead and we can build them. We just want to go ahead and we want to start locally. I've gone ahead and included in this packet a group of suggestions. They honestly don't cost anything. I don't think anything in this packet will cost any large amount of money. But the thing is to go ahead and start changing the DNA, to go ahead and start bringing us about to Salisbury with Comico 2.0. A couple weeks ago, you went ahead and you recognized the Boy Scouts that were doing the government for their merit badges. Mm-hmm. Well, once a month, ask the schools to go ahead and submit to you a student who has done some type of STEM excellence. You go ahead, you recognize them, put their names in the minutes, maybe at the end of the year, a mayor's award or an executive's award. And the thing is that these kids later on, first thing, STEM stays in their mind. And later on, they can put it on resumes, they can put it on college applications saying, I was recognized by the city council for STEM excellence for the month of February. The Gale courses the library offers for free. I know for a fact that the University of Maryland, Baltimore County charges $7,500 for the CompTIA track, and we offer it for free. To tie that in with something like what we did with the River's Edge Apartments, where we go ahead and we say, okay, if you are enrolled in this and you are showing progress, we can go ahead and we can discount you some rent. The thing is that in there's a lot more suggestions, but what I want to do is I want to get this conversation started. And one of the important things that we need like an advocacy group, a team that's able to go over there, go to Northrop Grumman, go to Amazon, go to one of these companies and say, hey, we're Salisbury. We've got power. We've got bandwidth. We've got space. We're cheap. And you tell me the person you need, I'll find a local to fill that job. It's going to take a couple years. We're not there yet. But if we go ahead and we get started now, the next time these companies have a conversation on where they want to go, Salisbury will be in that conversation. So thank you very much.
Wow.
Pass these to the mayor.
I'm thinking, yeah.
I knew he was gonna do that.
Let us know what you need us to vote on.
When are you?
Yes, sir.
When are you? Yes, I was asking you for a date, but I was all right.
Well, so, first of all, this is impressive. Second of all, I'm working on an email to Rob right now, and he knows that. Two just questions publicly, if you don't mind. One, have you spoken to the county council yet, or the county executive? No. Okay, I think that's a good next step, and I was going to suggest that. Second, the Board of Ed and the superintendent.
No, but Gretchen Boggs and there's a couple people that I went ahead and listed in here with the Board of Education with STEM Saturdays, and they're very good people.
Rob, can you come up to the podium so we can get you on? And we have, not that you need a mic, but.
Let me go ahead and grab it right here. I got a lot of references, don't I? There's a couple people, Dave Harner and Gretchen Boggs of the Wicomico County Board of Education. They handle the STEM Saturdays. Kristen Paul with Salisbury University. She handles STEM program there. And Dr. Memo, I hope I pronounced his name right, Derricker. I listened to a SoundCloud audio of something he was talking about as far as being Wicomico County being a high-impact, high-tech area. I've included that in the back. You'll notice you've got a DVD. There's no videos on there. It's just audio. But it's an audio of this pamphlet. It's an audio that contains his information as well. And by the way, this is all digitized on this, so just in case you want to go ahead and look at it. But you could always use this audio if you want to listen to it in your car and hear what he has to say. He approached it from a different direction, but these are people that we need to go ahead and just like get all together and say, okay, let's go ahead and move forward. Now that we know we've got the big pieces all paid for, all in place, let's start working on the people. Let's start going out there telling these companies, hey, you can come to Salisbury, and we'll put you in a place, we'll turn on the power the next day, and you'll be in business.
And Rob, I would just add one other thing. I think one of the very first next meetings that you should have is with Dave Ryan.
Yeah, I was going to
Dave
suggest that.
Ryan.
He's
That was the executive director of Salisbury Wicomico Economic Development.
Okay.
Yep. He's definitely a person that you're going to want to talk to. We'll set that up. We'll have Laura or myself, we'll set that up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, absolutely.
Rob, thank you very much. You got comments?
No, I was just going to recognize a Boy Scout that's in the audience this evening. Mr. Seltzer is here with his mom, Margaret, and he is doing his communications badge, if I am correct. And though this was a pretty run-of-the-mill meeting, I hope you got enough to be able to write something up on it. If you have any questions, let us know.
Future Eagle?
Yeah, his oldest brother is, and his next oldest brother is working on his. So he's
3 Eagles in one family? That's rare. That's great.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yep.
Go for it. It's worth it. Any other comments for the good of the order? In that case, hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.